Hi and welcome to winemastery.co.uk. My name is John Lightfoot. This is
John Murphy.
And we're here to tell you about wine, hopefully help you find the wine, if not the wines that you will absolutely adore. And in this episode, you'll see the label springing up there. We are going to taste and review a white Rioja. Now I know that John loves Rioja, but obviously red is his favourite.
Because I was saying, yeah, I do love it. I could drink it all day if I was allowed, but they won't let me.
I know, but the thing is, you say it goes without saying, but if people haven't seen this, any of our previous videos, they won't know. And if people don't particularly like red wine, they won't understand that statement.
Very true, very true. But if you keep watching the videos, subscribe, and then I'll have a look at our previous videos, you will see what enthusiasm I have for Rioja.
Nice sales job.
I didn't even try.
just came naturally, which is the best way.
John, stop it.
Okay.
We're here to taste wine.
Yes, we're here to talk about wine. And wine we are going to talk about. So, shall we have a look at the colour of this beautiful Rioja?
It's going to give me a minute,
white Rioja.
Let's have a look at that white Rioja.
I'm just trying, do you know what typically Rioja grape is?
Right. Typically, red Rioja. Typically, red Rioja would be Tempranillo and Grenache, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it would be Tempranillo, sometimes it would be Grenache. They do tend to blend them though. A lot of the times, you Tempranillo to give it the kind of the fruit, or the flavour, and the Grenache to give it the age and potential, the backbone. Usually, a white Rioja is Viura, which is one of those wild grapes which nobody's ever, kind of heard of as such. But yeah, Viura generally. I don't know if they blend a lot in the white Rioja. I think it just tends to be Viura. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that.
When you say wild grape, you mean wild?
Well, again, if we go back and look at all the videos we've done, there are literally thousands and thousands of grapes, which we don't really see because they usually put in a lot of blends. So you don't see like what we'd call a single varietal, where Sauvignon. Sauvignon is a massive grape. Everyone knows Sauvignon. We all know Pinot Grigio, Chardonnay, well, a lot of as well. But the lesser heard of are Viura. But there are, against literally, I don't know them all. Not that I profess to be, a professional as such. But yeah, there are literally thousands of grapes which you will never really hear of, which are used mostly in blending.
Yeah, and I guess also that in terms of some countries, you will get those grapes, that are used more, but they're actually not exported, so you never actually get to hear of them.
Yeah,
they're consumed locally.
No.
Yeah. Okay, well, should we have a look at the colour?
Please, let's have a look at the colour.
Please. So I'll let that focus in on there. So it's a nice, actually not quite as sort of yellowy and golden as a Chardonnay, but it's tending towards that, isn't it? Rather than a Pinot Grigio, which is very light, sort of straw coloured, this has got a little bit more colour to it.
Yeah, there's a little bit more oomph about the yellowishness in there. There's definitely more golden, I'd say golden.
More golden, yeah.
Yeah, a bit golden.
So shall we go to the nose?
Let's
go to the nose. No, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, that's really, really... Oh,
how's that? Go on.
I can say it's like that anticipation then of, that smells delicious. I really, really want to drink this. It's just...
Yeah, I know what you mean. For me, it has there's that touch of honeyed sweetness in there, that richness that kind of, as it's smelling, kind of fills your nose. You're like, this is home. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
There's I'm not getting much in the way of fruit from there. Which is, again, not a bad thing, but...
I think I get a little bit of melon.
Very positive. Usually in a White Rioja, I expect to be lent towards a Chardonnay almost, with a more tropical fruit style, but this, I'm not overly getting that. I'm not. But that's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
Let's
It's still a lovely smell.
Oh, it is. I'm going to get straight on.
To the taste?
Yeah, oh yeah. Ooh.
Wow. When I first took that, I thought, "Whoa, is this coming on too powerfully? Is it?" But then it just settled down. A nice rounded taste, and actually the taste is still there. I'm just trying to detect what it is.
See, for me, I'm not finding what I would usually find in a White Rioja. I don't know if I'm enjoying that as much as you are, John.
Really?
Really. I mean, it's not a bad wine, but I think I'm finding it a bit sharper, not quite as rounded as I'd like it to be, not quite as soft, and like you said, the fruit which you're trying to find in there, usually for me, a White Rioja, I would find that immediately with that beautiful kind of mouthfeel. I'm not getting that with this. In fact, this is coming across a tad too dry. Too harsh.
So that sort of suggests to me that if you were sort of a Chardonnay lover, then actually perhaps this wouldn't be the wine for you. Whereas if you were more sort of Sauvignon Blanc type, leaning towards that and tasting that more, this probably would be more the wine for you.
I think that's going to be more akin to because even so much as the length there is length. But it's not leaving with something that I like, not a flavour. I'm thinking, I'm enjoying that. I'm just thinking, if this sounds awful, I'm not being awful in any way, shape or form. But if I were in a bar and I was offered this and I had this, then I went back to the bar again, I don't think I'd get this glass of wine again.
If you were at a party and there were people coming along, wine waiters, and just topping up glasses, would you stop them and ask if you could have another one, or would you?
If it wasn't being rude and there was something else available, if this was the only white wine and they had one red wine, one white wine, I would drink it, because there's not much I wouldn't drink, but out of choice I wouldn't take a second glass of that.
And that is the amazing thing about wine, because and also the difficulty in these terms of these videos, in terms of recommending to you the wine that you may or may not enjoy, because clearly John isn't finding this as enjoyable as me. I'm really enjoying this wine. It's got a great balance. It's just not slight little bit of acidity there, but I find that refreshing. But there is on the other side, there is that sort of like slight buttery in terms of the smoothness of the taste. So that's the issue, isn't it? It's one of the great things about wine, though, in terms of you could find a wine that you absolutely love and I hate, but that doesn't matter, does it?
No, this is that subjectiveness which we've spoken about many times, and this is what does make it interesting, because you and I now could go, we could wax lyrical about what you don't like, what I do like, and why we don't like that, what possibility, what is it because what mood we're in now. There's all those little aspects that go into it, and that's, again, which we said many times, which makes wine drinking so fantastic.
Yeah, it's down to you, and so you can obviously sort of just actually hone everything down to you, and you shouldn't be ashamed to do that. So if someone was serving this and they had a whole sort of library, if you want, of cheese, what cheese would you say? Oh, can I have a piece of?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so if you had a whole library of cheese, you want something, because this isn't a massively powerful one, so you're going to want something that is not also going to be better. I think the acidity and dryness in there is, for me, just a bit too much. So I'd probably need something like the Go with Caerphilly. An amazing Caerphilly, beautiful. There's lots of Caerphillys out there in the market, and I may have spoken about this one before, but I do love it. But the Go with Caerphilly is made with unpasteurised milk, so it keeps a lot more flavour. Very clean, very fresh, very grassy, but still traditional in style. And from what I've tasted on that, I think those two would complement each other beautifully.
And if we would go to actually a meal rather than sort of having a little bit of cheese with this, what do you think this would?
I don't think it's going to stand up to anything substantial. I don't think. For me, this is not that heavy White Rioja that I'd look at. Usually a creamy dish with this. I don't think that would take it on. I think you need something like the acidity in there that's going to take it on.
So if you were drinking this, then presumably it would be more of a starter wine.
Yes,
Yeah, something that's light and then this would complement. And I'm thinking olives, but probably not olives. What about garlic bread with this? Do you not think
it's not going to do any harm? Definitely not.
No.
But like you say, like as a starter. Oh, see, yeah. I think you'd be fine with that as a starter. But I can't see that taking on any kind of main dish that's got loads of flavours or anything that's gonna. I think that's gonna be easily over the
prawns, salted prawns with a little bit of garlic butter on them.
He's going for it now. He's going. Yeah, I could go with that as well. And you know when we do this in the poo pan, I've said this before. But every time you do that, I'm like, oh yeah, actually, and you're thinking in your head.
When I get home, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, when I get home, I'm going to have that.
Yeah.
I have no sautéed prawns at home.
Oh. So in terms of the conclusion, I would definitely have another bottle of this in my cabinet. Obviously, you have a wine shop, so yours. I think that the sort of yardstick we use with you is, you know, if someone bought this to your house, would you sort of actually keep it or pass it on to someone else? And I'm guessing from what you've said, you'd pass this on to someone else.
I would. Not in a horrible way. It's just something that it would just
for your
stay
personal
in my
palate.
Yeah, it would just stay in the wine rack. And if people came round, I wouldn't be like, oh, have you tried this? It would just be, you know, it would just stay there. So I'd like pass it on to my mum or somebody. Rewrap it as a Christmas present. She'd be fine with that.
I'm sure she would. Oh, fantastic. Well, nevertheless, it's been an interesting wine. We'll have to try some more White Riojas. I think it's... yeah, just to get the comparison. So we will do that. And so until the next time, if you haven't already, guys, please subscribe. If you like this video, give us the thumbs up. And so until the next time, we'll look forward to seeing you there. Chin, chin.
Chin, chin.